Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. Welcome, everyone. It is happy hour here on Big Blend Radio, and this is part one of our pizza party show. Part two will be next Monday. We don't want happy hours on a Monday. Actually, we do. Every Monday should have a happy hour at the end of the day. But every third Friday, we have our new and latest happy hour show. And the third Friday in May happens to be National Pizza Party Day. So we got Chef Ivan Flowers back on the show. You know, he's a 5-star chef and also culinary instructor. And he's been on the show for years, and he knows we like to party. And we thought, hey, happy hour pizza party sounds good. Why don't we learn how to actually host one and make our own pizza? How does that sound? It's kind of like having a taco party. You know, by the way, Cinco de Mayo is coming. That's a good way to do a Cinco de Mayo party. Have a taco bar and people can choose what they want on their pizza. But we can make it a little healthier and I would say a little bit more cost effective by making our pizza at home. Isn't that right, Chef Ivan? Welcome back.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, pizza, making your own pizza. We've talked pizza on the show for years, and you've come in with doing like a pizza dia. Remember? You did one show with using French bread as the base. So, I mean, pizza is really about the cheese and the toppings with either tomato base or Alfredo. Some people do, and some kind of dough, right? So we could do it out of anything we want.
Yes. Yes. When you're doing dough, like a great sandwich starts with a great bread. A great pizza starts with a great dough.
Mm.
The dough is so important. The crispiness of it, the yeast, the entire thing is the dough. The dough is the magic. Like with sushi, it's the rice. With pizza, it's the dough.
Huh. It's really true. Now it's weird because you go for like the thin one and sometimes it's too crispy or like too. I remember in South Africa, okay, I'm going to do dough. Too bad doughs, South Africa. There was, in boarding school, they made pizza and you still wanted the pizza because there was cheese involved, you know? So as the, you know, in boarding school, what they called pizza, some say pizza over there. This was just bad. Chef Ivan, they made pastry dough, then put for the tomato base, they did tomato paste. So it's like this very thick, sweet, almost like ketchup. And then grated cheddar cheese. That's your pizza.
Boy.
So it was like a sweet pie, but because it was cheese involved, and who doesn't like a good pastry either, you know, it was just, you shouldn't call that pizza, right? Second one was there was this new pizza place opened up, and I remember Nancy ordered, when she had her magazine there, she ordered it for all the staff, like, who wants pizza? And this was like a hard dough that, no, it just is a hard no, because it was like this hard plank and it tasted, I can't even, it was just wrong. It was like, there's like a texture to dough. This had like, it was like water.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like somebody baked water and flour and made this very hard. It was a hard no. No. So please fix this problem because I've been known to use pita bread and things like that for a dough of a pizza, and it comes out okay-ish, you know.
Yeah.
If you need a quick fix, you know. But the dough, you've got this great recipe, everyone. It's linked in the episode notes. You can find it on blendradioandtv.com, plus also links to Chef Ivan's other pizza recipes that have different bases, whether it's a quesadilla kind of style or a French bread. But this pizza dough, this seems like this is something we can all do pretty easy and maybe get a whole family together to do.
Yes. And it's easy. It's really easy. Yeah, and it works. As a matter of fact, I have it in my computer as the perfect pizza dough recipe because it's foolproof. And there's also a trick, which I'll talk about a little later, that I found out when you're making dough. But basically, you know, Tracy gave me this recipe a number of years ago.
I knew
and I
she
lived
was
in
going to be
Arizona.
involved By the way,
Yeah,
everybody still
yeah,
wants Tracy on the show with you at some point here. Just
yes,
saying.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And a local bakery asked for the recipe. I was making pizzas in a restaurant, helping this guy out, and this baker came in and said, "You've got to give me this recipe." And I use it with the students. It's absolutely foolproof. And really, basically, you're taking you take warm water, about 110 degrees, with a little bit of sugar, and then you let the warm water bloom, activate the yeast, and then you add your flour, you mix, and you wait 3 minutes, and then you add your other 2.5 cups of flour with just a pinch of salt, and you mix it till it becomes a ball. And then basically you put it into a bowl, you put a little oil on the top, you cover it, and you let it proof overnight.
Oh,
and it expands
cool.
by 3 times.
Hmm. So it kind of
It
so it's
activates when it starts to bubble. You'll see
okay.
it when you put the yeast in. It'll start to bubble, and you smell it, and that's when you know you're on the right path. But it's very, very simple. Now the kicker with this is when I did this with the students, I do it every year. I had a student that was out for 5 days, so I saved his dough, and I left it in the bowl covered for 5 days. When he came back, I took the dough out, I floured the marble, and I went to put it on, and I could have just given a puff of air, and just it just unfolded and became flat like magic. And it was the best pizza I had ever made. And I researched it, and then I was watching the Food Network on the #1 ranked pizzeria, I think was in Las Vegas. And the guy makes his dough, and he lets it sit for 7 days in the fridge.
Oh.
And it is unbelievable the difference between an overnight rise and a 7-day rise. Unbelievable how that pizza came out. That's the trick.
So it's light. So like because sometimes you bite into like the dough can really be like, you know, like a big chew. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
the dough is it's like the best pie is because of the dough, like you were talking about. The dough is everything.
Yeah,
And so you're
yeah,
always trying to like, if you go to the frozen pizza food part of the grocery store, man, I don't know. I don't know if any of those really have good dough. I'm trying to think if there's one that actually has it. Because Nancy complains about it if it's not like she is
yeah.
specific. So she's like, it should not be that you need a chef knife to eat the dough. You know
No.
what I mean? So is this fluffy
And,
as like when you bite into it, when you cook it?
well, you can take it anywhere you want. You can do a thin dough. You can do a thicker dough. You can cook pizzas. There's no set recipe. If you're going into a wood-fired oven at 800 degrees, it's different. If you're going into a regular oven with a pizza stone and the dough is thinner, you cook it less. Pizza is a feel. It comes from the heart. The best pizza I ever had in my life was John's in New York on Bleecker Street in the Village. They do a slice that it's like unbelievable, but the dough and yeast is alive, and you've got to get into that headset that, that you're dealing with something that's alive, and it's going to rise and it's going to proof, and once you get that, once you make a good dough, you're on your way to making a great pizza.
Okay, so now you get the dough right. And so all you need, everyone, again, the link is in the episode notes. This is super easy. Warm water, a tablespoon of yeast, pinch
Mm-hmm.
of sugar, 5 cups of flour divided, and a pinch of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add in a
Right.
little olive oil when you're rolling it out, right? So that's something.
Right.
You roll it. Okay, wait. So let me just you get the dough, right? And you make these balls, right? So like
You make a ball,
you make one big
and
ball and then make little ones out of the big ball, right?
right, you scale it to whatever size you want. You put a little olive oil on it. You put it in a bowl and you cover it, and you
Okay,
have
so
it in
the
a bowl
olive
that's
oil.
big enough where it can rise. Yeah.
So the olive oil is like the covering on it, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
put it,
So it doesn't get
okay.
a skin.
Oh, Okay. Well, you're moisturizing it because everybody wants
Hmm.
things to be moist. I did
Right.
say that. I can't believe I
Yeah,
said that after all these years.
that's
I
all right.
did. But so you just put plastic wrap on, you say very loosely, and put it in the
Hmm.
fridge on a plate, let it go.
Hmm.
But you say
Hmm.
leave this if you can 5 to 7 days or use it the next day. But
Yes,
now,
yes.
okay, do the 7 days. All right. Does it, because right now we're in Asheville, North Carolina, and I swear, one of my favorite pizza places in the world is this restaurant. I'm going to have to look it up again. And I think I've talked about them on a show with you before. But the next day, I wanted the pizza the next day, not the same day, because the pizza dough started to taste like sourdough. And the
Hmm.
texture, it's like you've got it's obviously baked. Okay. They put it in the wood fire oven. So it does have that crunch and that crust, right? But then it's not overdone. So it still has like a tenderness and like a little moistness. I don't know how to explain this, but the texture of the dough is so perfect. But then it goes into this sourdough mode. And I'm like, dude, this is so good. Cause like
Yeah.
sourdough, when done well, is one of the best things
Oh, yeah.
on the
Yes,
planet. You
sourdough is
have, oh,
remarkable.
grilled cheese on sourdough with a really good
Hmm.
bowl of tomato soup. What do you think?
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
it's kind of
You
going
can't beat
towards
it.
pizza. So when
Hmm.
you had this pizza that you left the dough in for 5 days, did it go towards the sourdough mode?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, yeah. It was just different. It was. It's not really sourdough. It's just. It was so. It was. Well, sourdough is with a starter. This was, like I said, you just blew on it and you touched it with your hands, and it just started to flatten to where you needed to take it without any work. Just a few touches
Oh,
and
wow.
bang.
It's
I mean, it
airy.
just became this round, perfect.
Mm, nice. Okay. So
Oh,
the dough
so
is
the
key.
gluten, I was just
Hmm.
reminded the gluten was very relaxed with time. That's because when you do pizza dough and then you do it the next day and you start to roll it out, it pulls back sometimes because the gluten
Mm.
is not relaxed. When you rest it, that gluten is so relaxed that it's like a cloud. It's like you're in a spa. You just touch it and
Ah,
it melts. It's just, it was
hmm.
remarkable. I've been
That's
making
amazing.
pizza dough a long time, but this was, wow.
So if you are, well, I know because you can have vegan pizza, right? We used to have a lot of that actually. Like we used to eat this
Yeah,
Thai style, and it was really good. I just didn't want the tofu because, um,
yeah,
sorry, not a tofu person. No offense, but my body doesn't like tofu. Um,
yeah.
but it does love pizza. Uh, and because this is the thing, you get the right dough, you can do anything. And pizza is, this pizza place, I'm gonna have to look it up now. For people, if you go to Asheville, North Carolina, I swear to God, you need to come to this pizza place. And it's just hidden way off the road, man. It's like your neighborhood pizza place. It's nothing showy, but it makes some of the most badass pizza you can imagine.
Well,
Um,
they're pizzaiolos. That's a true pizzaiolo.
what's the
They're
Iola
they're they're
about?
master.
Yeah.
Pizzaiolo is their master of the craft. It's not chain pizza. They make pizza. They're craft. They're craftsmen. They're crafting that dough. They're crafting that sauce.
It's
It's
Piazza. They're
not.
called Piazza.
Yeah, yeah.
See, and somebody went in about the crust. And first thing is a review saying this is crispy, chewy dough. Like, and that's exactly
Hmm.
it. How did you get the crispy, chewy? That's the
Hmm.
point. Yeah.
Hmm.
Somebody,
Right
I'm not,
temperature, right amount of time, the whole thing.
oh my God, I
Now, keep in
love,
mind, you
oof.
you you can make pizza, you can make calzones, you can make stromboli, you can make garlic knots. I mean, there's so much that you can do. You can make
Mm,
pizzettes, which are small, tiny little pizzas for happy hour. Like a small little disc where you can eat 5 or 6 of them, little dough balls. I mean, dough is when it's made right, it's so forgiving. There's so many things that you can do with it. And of course, a good sauce, good
we,
cheese. One of the best cheeses that I just discovered is the Mexican white cheese like Jack. It's called asadero. It is
Ooh,
unbelievable.
it's not cojita, isn't
Unbelievable,
that
this cheese.
not cojita, cojita,
It might, no, it's not no, cotija. No, no. This is a
okay.
white, it's like Jack. And it
Mm.
is, it melts like no other cheese
Oh,
I've ever seen. It's
yes, yes, yes.
magnificent.
That is really used a lot in Baja cuisine. And when we lived in
Yes,
Mexico, they
yes,
make this cheese sauce that is, everybody's like, oh, do you want con queso for the nachos? And they come up
yes.
with these bowls of melted white cheese, but it's got a
Mm,
little kick in there. I know they put a little bit of something in there. And I'm telling you, this is you must have it. And I'm like, well,
you have
then,
to have it.
okay. Okay. So I got a recipe too. Giada did this and we had it. I don't know if it's still up on our site or not from one of her cookbooks. It's called Paisanos, I think she called it. Positanos, something. She takes the dough and makes little hearts and makes them into little pizza sandwiches with her kids.
Yes,
This is such
yes,
an ancient
thanks.
recipe from her, but it's cute. Like, so I think the pizza party for happy hour, I think number one, if you're going to be libating yourself, pizza's a good base. I'm just going to say pizza's
Yeah.
good the day of,
Yeah.
before, during, and after, and in the
Oh,
morning,
yes. Oh, yeah.
cold pizza too. See, that's it. The dough has to work for the cold pizza people too. The morning
Yeah.
after pizza, cold with a cold
Yeah.
beer. See, I think that's why wine and beer work so well with pizzas because they're connecting with the yeast as a I know
Yeah.
that makes,
Yeah.
I
Good
don't know
point.
what anybody would say about, yeah, I mean, because it's like they're all yeast based deliciousness, all of it. So,
There's a pizza place upstate Oneonta, New York, by one of the colleges, and when the pies come out super super hot and the slice is hot, they put cold shredded mozzarella on top of the super hot pizza. And when you take a bite, you hit the cold first before you hit the hot, and the line is around the block. The kids go crazy for it. I did that with my kids, and they went
mm,
bananas. It was quite a combo.
mm,
I
oh,
have to mention, I have a good friend of mine. He's a mathematician. He's a teacher I work with, Steve Rappaport. He loves my pizza. So when I say to him, Steve, I'm making pizza today, he's right there.
oh, but I don't blame him. There's, I mean, pizza is pizza, but if you can make it yourself and the dough isn't, I think we're scared of dough, and it's the same thing as doing pie.
Yes,
It's about the
yes,
dough, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to be in the kitchen for hours doing it." It's the same as
yes,
making bread.
yes,
Nancy did the
yes,
bread thing where you didn't have to roll it forever, but it was about letting it rise. I think she put it in
yes,
the freezer for a while, but it's this recipe of not no knead bread or whatever, and that would
yeah,
go if you left it long enough would go a little sourdoughy too. That bread on its
yeah.
own, and it was like this, and she used olive oil. Huh. This is interesting about the olive oil now too. But I wanted to ask you about olive oil and pizza
Hmm.
because when we look at the sauce and whatever the topping is, not all pizzas have to have red sauce. It's just like pasta.
No, no, not at all. You can do white pizza. We eat white
Garlic.
pizza all the time, and it's got ricotta on it. It's got the white mozzarella. It's
Mm,
sometimes they'll put arugula. No, yeah,
no.
spinach. You don't, yeah,
Well,
or
you
a
also
good
talk.
clam pizza.
I have no clue about that. Clams? Are you putting
Yeah,
clams on your pizza?
yeah.
Do you cook? You cook them
Oh my
first,
God,
right?
yeah. Well, you put them on raw. You do a white pizza, and you do like a bechamel or a white sauce and garlic and fresh shuck clams. Oh my God, it's magnificent.
Okay, wait. Now you're going to eat the clams raw, but in a sauce. Like,
No, they're
wait.
cooked. No, they're cooked.
Okay.
They're put on the
Okay.
pizza raw and they cook on the top.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. So they're going to cook because I was going to say, well, Nancy, I have no clue about seafood. We're totally allergic to anything that swims in the water to the
Yeah,
point of
I
like, we
know.
don't know about seaweed. Like we go, I don't know about that, man. Like, do we ever,
Yeah.
I just, we really don't need any more things to eat. But, when you talked about I remember you changed our pizza life years ago when you told me on the show you must cook the onions and garlic and the mushrooms, even the
Yes,
bell
first.
peppers before you
Yes.
put them
Stop
on
pickle.
the pizza. Your pickle's going. See, we got Panda here, so Panda and Pickle when I have a party, they know it's happy hour and good food.
Yeah.
You got
Well,
Pickles and
we
Panda's
bought some
thoughts.
bamboo for our backyard before the tariffs hit. So they're delivering a
Oh,
piece of bamboo,
oh, I see. Well,
sustainable bamboo. Yeah.
oh, nice, nice. I love
You
bamboo.
know,
Yeah, you have to do everything before the tariffs. I ran out. As soon as I heard that we were even going to have any kind of tariff, I went and got bourbon, well, Canadian whiskey and
yeah,
avocados and tequila. They're all gone.
right.
But it
Yeah,
was just my first impulse was like mostly, I do love, a good whiskey and a bourbon and a tequila. I really love my
yeah,
tequila, but it was the
yes,
avocados that I'm very scared about is the avocados
yeah,
because that should be its entire own food source. Like it's its own food group.
right.
It is. It's everything.
Yeah,
And you can put avocado on pizza, by the way, just saying. I
yeah,
know it sounds
yeah,
weird, but you can. But I want to go back to this
yeah.
cooking things. You're not, and I don't like cook them. I'm just getting them so that they're a little sautéed lightly. Like the onions are not, you're not like because they're still going to cook, but it's almost like they're crisping up, but they're like the mushrooms will have more flavor if you do this way. Like I've seen
Oh,
where
yeah,
pizza places do that too, where they just throw raw mushrooms on
yeah,
and they come back dried and shriveled. Like I just
yeah.
learned, roasted potatoes, and I did a roast of
Oh,
vegetables.
yeah,
Okay, so here's the first time I did this, like in a while. And I took tin foil and I put olive oil on the base and just sprinkle a little olive oil on top of it was potatoes, it was baby potatoes, asparagus, which I put on later, learned that from you too, and the mushrooms I put on later. But I had potatoes, some sweet potatoes, these Japanese ones that are white on the inside, they're
mm-hmm,
really good.
mm-hmm,
And onions and shallots and garlic and all of this, right? It's all going in there. And then I've now put in steamed beets to Nancy's horror, but she ate them and liked them. Steamed beets with the asparagus and mushroom later. Well, the first time I did this recently, I just drizzled the stuff on top, the olive oil. Well, I could see like things were it's like if you don't moisturize your skin, y'all, this is what's happening to
right,
things in the oven. So
right.
last night, I went, Chef Ivan would be proud. I actually found a silver bowl that you do in a kitchen and I mixed. And you know what? I did not use as much oil and everything stayed moist and happy and
Right.
still
Yeah.
crisped up. So that's the same thing about cooking your mushrooms beforehand because otherwise they become these dry pieces of leather, yet
Yes.
they soak up the flavor. These are the important things on a pizza, the mushrooms, if you like
Mm.
them.
Yes.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
olives.
Yes.
What is your
All of that.
ultimate pizza? Like we're gonna have happy hour now. So would you say
I
like
I would do
yeah?
I would do a pizza with a little of the asadero cheese. I would add brie to it. I would put some
Oh,
brie, and then I would saute some grapes. I would actually take potatoes and cut them very small, saute them, get them three-quarters crispy, and then add split grapes to that, and then have the grapes and the potatoes with the
what?
melted brie on the pizza. Delicious. And
Really?
then finish with a reduced balsamic. Oh, yeah. And then fresh arugula.
So you know no tomatoey base thing on the dough. The brie will have
No,
the
no, no, it doesn't need it.
potatoes and grapes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I see the balsamic
Delicious.
would bring everything together, right? The
Mm.
balsamic. Mm.
Yeah.
It does sound weird. I'm not gonna lie. That does sound weird, but I'm
It's,
oddly have a funny feeling it's really, really good.
it's
Now are
good.
you okay? I know we talked about this before, but brie has that cover on it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Is that going on the pizza, or do you take the
Oh,
cover
yeah.
off?
Yeah.
It's
Now,
all
the
going
rind
in
is
there.
the best part. Yeah, the rind's the best part.
Okay. I always wondered, because I ate it and then I would go, okay,
Yeah,
am I gonna be fine?
yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Okay. I mean, everything passed through okay. So, I just got,
Yeah.
we had to
Well,
go
look,
there,
look
but
what Wolfgang, yeah, look what Wolfgang Puck did in the '80s. Goat cheese and pineapple. He changed everything.
mm,
The idea of
goat
what
cheese.
pizza was. I mean, he became world famous for that.
I didn't know about that. Goat. So he
Yeah,
started the pineapple on pizza?
yeah, and with goat
Oh my
cheese.
God.
What?
The
What?
Hawaiian pizza with
I'm wrong.
pine ham,
Oh, smoked
ham.
salmon. I'm. Oh, with the creme fraiche. Oh, I see. I'm
Oh,
wrong. I don't know who did the pineapple and the.
okay.
Oh, CPK. I stand corrected.
Okay, you got to repeat what she said because it didn't come through clearly. What did Tracy say?
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, we
Wolfgang
finally,
Puck.
everybody, y'all, Tracy's finally here. All right. All right. So what was this? What's going on?
So Wolfgang Puck developed when he on Spago with his first restaurant that he, springboarded everything else from. I was in LA at the time. I lived there. He did an individual pizza. He called it a California pizza, but he did a creme fraiche, high-end smoked raw lox, smoked lox on it, fresh dill and capers, and a little red onion. And he served it as a pizza. So it was very groundbreaking at the time. There was a guy, Mark, I can't remember his last name. There's a place, Coyote, spelled not like a coyote animal, it's like Ciaote. It was the entrance to the Hollywood Hills on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. He had a small little restaurant, and he had a wood-fired oven, and he's the one that started doing all the California-style pizza, the barbecue chicken pizzas, the goat cheese pizzas, the Thai chicken pizzas. And so when the two guys, Larry Flax and Rick Rosenfeld, decided to open up a California-style pizza restaurant chain, they went to him, and he's the one that developed all the pizzas for California Pizza Kitchen.
Who has the thin crust?
There it is.
Yeah. No, and they're not bad. Okay,
the thin crust,
so now
the individual, all of that.
Yeah, I've got to ask you now that you're on the show, right? It's happy hour. We're talking all about this for happy hour next month, the third Friday. So this is part one to set everybody up to have a giant pizza party in May. Third Friday of May is National Pizza Party Day. And I think that should be every day. Who would you invite to a pizza party, and what are you going to serve? I have to ask Ivan who he's going to have, but who are you going to invite to a pizza party that you and Ivan are hosting, and what do you want to make sure is on the menu? Anyone alive, past, whoever. You can invite as many as you want.
Can I invite two people?
Sure.
Gloria Steinem and Kathy Griffin.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? That would be interesting. Wow.
And I would serve a classic New York style cheese pizza with just tomato and cheese. I love that.
Straight up, just to the basics, right? Thin or thick?
Yeah.
Okay.
New York style, which is kind of in between. It has a nice in crust, but it's thin at the base, on the bottom. But it has it has a nice crust, because I love a crust at the end to dip into like ranch dressing or something like that.
Garlic oil, garlic butter.
Yes, anything. Anything like that. Yeah.
Garlic or that queso that we're talking about, that heated queso. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that is awesome. Well, I'm glad you joined us. That was fun. That's fun. You guys have to come back on.
I had to, because you didn't know. I'm like, you're getting it wrong.
That's people listen. They want a great woman. Yeah.
Yes. Here, let me give you back to Ivan.
All right. So
nice talking to you.
You too. Good to say hi again. So Ivan,
yes.
Pizza party. We want to know from Ivan what he's serving. Okay. Well, he's got the grapes and the potatoes and all of this going on his pizza. But who are you inviting to a pizza party?
Albert Brooks.
Cool.
I would be googly. Absolutely. Albert Brooks. Obama.
Michelle or Barack?
And both. And let me see. Who else do I love? Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger.
Hell yes. We got to have Mick Jagger.
He's 80 years old, and he's flying across the stage. He's still doing it at 80. Now, keep in mind, when you have a New York slice, and you pick it up and you fold it, it should be like a 20-year-old with an erection.
Oh, here we go.
That's New York pizza. It doesn't flop. You fold it and it stays as stiff as a board.
Okay, now you know I'm going to get
New York
all kinds
pizza.
I'm going to get all the weird Facebook ads for ED now. You know that, right? And it's going to be all your fault. So is this an underlying thing that everybody in New York knows? Like they know that that's the rule?
Yes, New York style pizza, you pick it up, it stays completely straight, and a little of that olive oil runs down the middle, a little bit. Yeah, the end crust. It's wonderful.
So the olive oil is part of this. See, that's something then.
Yes, they put a little bit on. Yeah.
On the top.
They put it on the pizza after it comes out. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So olive oil is important. Okay, this is good.
Yep.
Now you were talking about making the little garlic things, like for a happy hour.
Nuts.
I think garlic knots are important. Anything with garlic, because happy hour, and if one's having it, everyone should have it unless they don't like garlic, obviously. But tell people what we can do to make this, because I got garlic. And I cannot lie. I got a lot of garlic.
You take the pizza, the dough, you cut it into strips and you knot it. You do like a threefold knot, and then you just put a lot of olive oil and fresh garlic, a little bit of salt. You roast it in the oven, and then when it comes out, you put more garlic and more oil on it, and it's kind of almost swimming in it. And then you finish it with fresh grated parm. It's to die for.
So you're not actually, because I always thought for that you'd have to crush up garlic and almost heat it up in butter.
Mm-hmm. So you can do that too.
Oh, okay. Because I want
you can cook the knots. Yeah, cook the knots, have them come out, have your garlic and butter, a little bit of salt, and then just toss it in all of that and finish with fresh parm. Oh my God.
Ooh. You know what? I've been seeing this recipe, and Melissa's Produce keeps sending us things because we do all these podcasts, and every time the Melissa's Produce box, they chase us around the country with these boxes of amazing goodness that you can get in your grocery stores,
wonderful.
Right? No, it is good stuff, and they try to keep people healthy. That here's healthy snacks. So you'll have snacks that are made out of pepitas. What do you call pepita? Pumpkin seeds and chia seeds and flax seeds, and their trail mix has got cashews and almonds and real stuff, right? With using hatch chilies from New Mexico, making seasonings. Oh, this stuff is it's good. But they do a lot of their largest specialty produce company in the country, and they're based out of LA. And their whole thing is to work with farmers and get you good produce in your food, in your stores. You can order stuff online. Them. They're very cool. They do a lot out of California, obviously, and but they educate us. I end up with ingredients I don't know about, and then I ask you half the time. I'm like, hey, what's this? But they sent all these onions and shallots. I've never cooked with shallots, but now I've decided I think shallots are the
shallots.
best. Omelets.
Nothing
when
like
you
them.
make an omelet with shallots.
Oh yeah,
shallots and
they're
garlic.
Creamy. Buttery.
And they're sweet,
they're magnificent.
This is like a whole other planet. But then they sent white onion, white onion, then the yellow onion, the red onion, and then I saw this basic recipe that's going viral everywhere. And you put parchment paper down on your baking sheet. You slice your onions to a quarter thick rounds, right? So it's the full slice. And it's you put them down, and then I think you drizzle olive oil or something. It's olive oil. And then you cover it, the whole pan, with Parmesan, and you bake these onion slices in Parmesan for 10, 15 minutes. You're broiling them, and they come out you could use and I'm seeing people do these kinds of things as instead of bread, take this and then make a sandwich between two rounds of onions like that. Or you dip it into ranch or something. Does that not sound...
the ranch. That's delicious.
None of us can get past the ranch. We can't.
No. Every time we have pizza, it's one of the reasons why I married Tracy. Every time we have pizza, I give her my crust. She loves the crust because she dips it into different sauces, ranch, mayonnaise. And every time I give her the crust, she always acts surprised. Like,
It's like you gave
oh
me
my
the
God, you're giving
goodies.
me the crust. Every time. Every time.
That's her
So even to
special
this
thing.
day, it's very special.
Well, the crust is good. Nancy leaves the crust, and I'm all like, I want the crust. I want
Yeah.
the, because it is something, but honest, I've never thought of dipping the crust into ranch. Huh. That's what's happening tonight now. Um, we're gonna crust it up. But the pizza thing, like
Yeah.
you said also too, and when we're having a party, like a happy hour party, so you may want things to be a little bit smaller in bite style, right? Just out of,
Mm-hmm.
people don't, unless you're going to be like me and everybody, just get sloppy and let it, I think when food goes down your face, like if it's like, I was talking about this on a show the other day. If you bite into something and the juice comes down your front of your face, that's good food. I know it's not polite and I don't care. But I know
Who
if it's a
cares?
happy hour and it's clients or it's people that you have to be la-di-da with, okay, make it little small bites. But like still, like a peach, if you bite into a peach and there's no juice, it sucks. It
Right.
Don't eat it.
Another thing you can do, it's more of an East Coast thing, is you can make what's called stromboli. So you take your
Oh
pizza
yeah.
dough and you make a rectangle out of it, and you have the dough very thin. And you put toppings. So you've got a rectangle. Let's say you put a little sauteed spinach, mozzarella, some roasted garlic, a little bit of sauce, and you roll it a little bit. Then you repeat it and you roll it. Then you repeat it until you have a cylinder, a tube that's all spiral. You bake it in the oven, and when it comes out, you cut little slices of it, and people go wild for stromboli.
Strombolis. I remember a restaurant in the mall when we first got here
Yes,
in
there was a
Florida.
chain, strombolis, yes.
Yeah, I remember eating
Good
strombolis and then
stromboli or good calzone or mini
calzones.
calzone.
They're like little
Yeah.
empanadas, basically, right?
Yes,
It's like
exactly. Yes.
all cultures
But
have
do
been
them
making these.
small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Them small,
of
stuff
course.
them with what you have, what you want. Like you
Yes,
could just put a
whatever you
bunch of
have.
garlic, butter, and cheese,
Hmm.
and I'm the happiest person. But
That's it.
some onions. Okay, so I think I told you about this before, maybe on one of the most recent shows. I'm not sure. So in South Africa, we had what was called cheese puffs made at this grocery store, and they also made lemingtons, which was sponge cake soaked in like a chocolate sauce and coconut and everything. And I just found something similar online. So I'll see about making that. I bet you Tracy will know how to do it. She knows how to bake. But
Yeah.
they
Boy,
had
does she.
these cheese puffs. Now, if you think of, okay, so over there we had sausage rolls too. So it's like more of a puff pastry, but not quite. Like I would say it's got an egg. What do you call it? You put an egg on top of your pastry, so it has that other little layer of. There's like you put egg on top of pastry and it does something, but I think it's got
Oh,
that.
like when you brush it, you do a
Yeah.
little egg, and it gives it a little bit of a shine and then nice color when you bake it.
Yeah. So now you
An
think
egg
of
wash.
that. Okay, egg wash with some good salt on top. Sorry. This is
Mm-hmm.
not anything to talk to your doctor about. But anyway, so it would be like like would you do those little pies here? So it's rectangular and stuffed, but then they cut a little uh lines in it so it's breathing. But the center
Mm-hmm.
is almost like a cheese souffle in
Mm.
that it's like not quite a cheese sauce and there's cheese cheese and onions is a thing in South Africa. Cheese and onion, potato chips, cheese, it, it cheese and onion. I don't know. It's like a thing. So they make this cheese and onion kind of mixture, but what would make it like you're not just boiling cheese and onions together to give it like a little bit of consistency, thickness, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
light and fluffy, almost like a souffle.
Mm.
What do you think?
Mm.
And it is so darn good. Do you think
It
they're
sounds
mixing it with
delicious.
flour or something to make it go like it's a
Don't
filling?
know. They're doing something. Whatever they're doing it right.
I would kill for one. I would. No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. But you
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
certain things and it's just because you always talk about texture. This is texture from the like the crust. There's crust is crusty and then it goes down to being moist. Here we go, the chew, and then the
The moist.
moistness, and then like it's like if it was an omelet inside, but it's
Hmm.
cheese and onions.
Yeah.
And the
Do you
onions
dream
are,
about food?
I feel
Do you have
like I
dreams
am right
about
now.
food?
I don't
I
know.
dream about food all the time. So does Tracy. We
I
always
feel
dream
like
about.
I'm
We wake
there.
up going, "I dreamt about food. I dreamt about food last night. I dreamt about food.
I think I dream
I dream
about
about
wine.
hot dogs. Yeah,
Really?
natural casing hot dogs on a griddle. Yeah, like Nathan's in Coney Island. I dream about it all the time.
With good
Buttered
mustard.
corn on the cob. Mm.
Mustard. Isn't it exciting to go towards summer? Like, really, right now it's not summer where we are, but maybe by the time
Yeah,
this airs in like a few days it will be. But
yeah,
when the weather warms up, don't you start getting excited about like food like that? Food on
yeah,
sticks, pizza on a stick.
yes.
That's good. Like, yeah. Yeah, I saw an interesting thing. Oh boy, I can't explain this on the air. Anyway, some people take their hot dog out and put it in beer and then put it back in their hot dog thing, hot dog bun.
Mm,
What's with that? I mean,
sure.
they cook sausage or boerewors in South Africa with beer on a barbecue.
Yeah,
They use beer as I think it's people just want to
yeah.
drink beer and have an excuse. Um, but yeah,
Well, the best way
pizza.
to cook a sausage is to poach it in beer and then finish it on a grill or a griddle. You poach it first to release the fat on the inside, and then you sear the outside, which has the natural casing on it, and that's how you get the snap.
Mm. Okay, now sausage on a pizza, yay or nay?
Oh yeah, I'm not a
Okay,
sausage guy on pizza, but I can, I can understand why people like it. But when it's overdone, like five meat pizza, sausage, pepperoni, salami, prosciutto, it's overdone. If you overload a pizza, it never cooks correctly. Can't put too many toppings
truth.
on, just enough. That's the secret.
We used to make our own. I mean, growing up, it was one of the first things I learned how to make was pizza. We made our own dough. And people would look at us
Hmm.
because we didn't have a round thing, because a round pan, because we were living in Africa, man. We didn't have round pans where we were. This is in Kenya when I was a kid. Like we just didn't have all where we were living. It was not easy to get all those things. But a cookie sheet, pretty much everyone could. And Nancy's like, who cares if it's a cookie sheet? Who cares? We're making pizza because she got so tired of not having pizza. It's an American thing. I know Italy, but um, she wanted pizza and that wasn't what was being served. And so she's like, I'm gonna have to learn how to make pizza. She did. She got a dough right. I don't know how, but she did get the dough thing right. And we would sit there and take like bell peppers and mushrooms, olives, that kind of thing. But she was adamant about bacon. And now we got here, and then they're going, we'll put bacon on a pizza, and it's Canadian bacon. And so that's a thing. And our friend Eddie
Hmm.
Maldonado, that's been on shows for years, I think you guys have been on shows together years ago. He would kind of go into a rant about this is not bacon. Canadian bacon is not bacon. That is ham, and this is not bacon.
Yeah,
It's on a
yeah.
pizza. So you rarely see what she's talking about of what you would probably say is breakfast bacon on a pizza, but that's what she wants. So have it, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
why, what is this Canadian bacon? That's not bacon. That's ham,
It's
isn't it?
pork loin. It's basically a smoked pork loin.
It's
Bacon is
good.
from the belly and it's
Oh,
fatty, and Canadian bacon is super lean and it's pork loin that's been smoked.
I think they're both good, you know.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
like it with whole, would you eat that with the pineapple on it on a
yeah,
pizza?
yeah.
Okay.
Cut very, very thin with a little bit of coriander on it. Yeah, why not?
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, since you're doing grapes and potatoes, like seriously, I'm gonna have to try
yeah.
this just to see. Well, it's the
You
brie
have to
cheese
try
gonna
that.
fix it. So does the
Yeah,
potato give you a texture thickness thing? Is that what it is?
yeah, yes. Like a little. It's almost meaty. It's crispy
Oh,
and a little bit of chewy, but it's fluffy on the inside, and oh, it's wonderful.
I wonder if
Seasoned.
that's what's in the cheese thing. Potato.
It could be. Yeah.
Hmm. Very cool. Well, everyone, I hope you get all these great ideas for a happy hour party. And so, can someone make multiple? Okay, this yeah. Before you go, for a happy hour, you're going to have a bunch of people over for a pizza party, right?
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
you do not have a wood-fired oven and you're doing it in your oven, any tips on how to manage multiple pizzas? Because if you have a lot of people coming, you're going to want to have some, I like the ideas of what you're saying, like do the garlic knots and maybe some calzones
Hmm.
and do some different things that might be easy to warm up. Be careful
Hmm.
about putting doughy things in the microwave because it can get hard.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it'll, it'll go from 20 years old to 19. No, I'm kidding. I don't
Hmm.
get there. But yeah, any tips on being able to balance out the pizzas if you've got a
One of the best ways to cook pizza if in a home oven is if you have a sheet pan. Put the sheet pan in the oven at about 450 and get it hot. Build your pizza, have a peel so you can put it on the peel. When you go into the oven, if you don't have a stone, it hits that hot sheet pan and the bottom will crisp up and the top will melt at the same time. And that's a good way to get a crispy, balanced pizza.
mm,
Because remember,
okay.
a pizzeria, they have their ovens on all day and there's stones on the bottom. So you have to kind of recreate that at home. And that's how you do it.
It's the stones. So a wood-fired oven outside it's about stones being hot in there, or no?
Well, yeah. I mean, wood fired is a whole different thing. It can cook a pizza in a minute because it goes up to 800 degrees.
Jesus.
You rotate it quickly. Yeah, wood fire is wonderful. And of course,
Mm.
if you have real wood in there, you're getting smoke. So you put
Oh,
tomatoes in there and you roast them, you get
oh,
them smoky, you make a smoky tomato sauce. I
oh!
mean, a
Now
wood
that's
fired oven
good.
is wonderful.
Mm. Would you ever put a pizza on a grill, like outside, like a barbecue grill?
Yeah, you can grill. Oh, yes, you grill the dough ahead of time a little bit, and then you finish it on the grill. You put the cover down. Grilled pizza is wonderful,
Oh, you
wonderful.
could do like some good beef on there, like
Yeah,
serious, like
sure.
do like a
Yeah,
steak, peppers,
yeah,
kind of like a
sure.
Philly pizza, right?
Yeah,
You could do that.
and put some
Oh,
hickory in with the coals, and get some smoke coming up from the heat. Yeah, all of that is
okay.
possible.
Breakfast pizza
Rem-
is also possible. Just saying.
Yeah, you can make food do anything you want. You
That's
just
what I
have
love.
to.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
you can
love
make
this with
food
you
do
because
anything you want.
you always say it's like, here's your base, go for it, learn your base, and then go
Yeah,
for it. Like, go do what you
yeah,
want. I know people
yes,
put asparagus on their pizza. I've done that.
yes,
It's good. It's
yes.
good.
We've been
The
looking for
Mhm.
asparagus here, thick asparagus, forever,
I just
and we
ate
can't
some.
find it. It's just the skinny ones. We can't find thick
Is
asparagus in Southern California.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. They're
I just
pencil.
ate that. I just made it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. We're way away from you. But now, isn't that a male versus a female thing? Isn't that like the
yeah.
difference between the thick and the thin? Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, God.
I don't know. But I think it's one is thin. The thin is, I don't know who it is, but I think it's a male female thing on the
Yeah,
asparagus. But the weather's been weird. And that's the thing. So like you may want to do this pizza thing and see what's on season. And that's pizza is a cost-effective meal. It is. And you
yes,
can look at what you have and think about and go, all right, well, let's try this today, and you're not going to have a bunch go down the toilet.
no,
Besides, if you're putting cheese on it, you can't go wrong, you know.
no.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ivan. Always fun having you on the show. Everyone, stay
You're
tuned.
welcome.
The third Friday in May, we'll have our happy hour pizza party with guests coming on. But Chef Ivan Flowers has got us all set up to go and create a pizza happy hour party. And
There you
even
go.
just to make pizza, if it's just you and your family, or if you can make your own darn pizza too, just for you. You're allowed.
Yes,
And
yes.
it has been known that Nancy and I do that on holidays. Everyone else is making turkey. Nancy and I look at each other and go, how about pizza and wine? Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. Yes.
I know. I know. Well, thanks so much. It was great to have Tracy on the show
Okay.
too. Everyone, the link is in
Yes.
the episode notes for the recipe. Take care, everyone, and have a safe and happy hour.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.